And now, Trilogy in Rainbows, Book 2, Grace and Wrath. She stood at the Forest of Feelings edge, looking to the northern plains where the horses roamed. She had kept her vigil for many days now, rising early to come and leaving late, reluctant to go in case the three riders arrived. Presently, her paw was absent-mindedly rubbing her belly badge, tracing the outline of the heart-shaped lock. An orange-furred bear walked up behind, carrying a flower.
Out here again today, Secret?
Her friend nodded, pleasantly surprised. Friend Bear handed Secret Bear the daisy and stepped up beside her.
Everyone's talking about the secret you shared with us, wondering who those three prodigal sons could be.
Secret Bear looked to Friend Bear, aching to tell her the truth.
I've got no clue. I don't think we've ever had someone leave or be banished.
Friend Bear nudged Secret Bear.
But I'm just glad you could share a secret with all of us.
She looked into Secret Bear's eyes and smiled.
I know our love can change them.
Friend Bear hesitated for a second before holding out her paw to Secret's belly badge.
Could we? Yes, for a moment.
Secret whispered. She reached out a paw and touched Friend Bear's intertwined flower belly badge, and felt understanding and love seep into her. It flowed over her like a refreshing wave, and in turn sweet tendrils of vulnerability and honesty caressed Friend Bear. Seemingly just as soon as it began, the interplay of emotions ceased. They stepped back from each other, and Friend Bear smiled softly. But the tender moment was soon cut short. A bell sounded, the one from the sacred redwood circle.
Come on, it's the emergency bell.
Secret Bear's heart fluttered, and her adrenaline spiked.
Oh, the fierce, the black, and the wicked, they've arrived. At last.
Friend Bear and Secret Bear hurried off to the circle, to the safe haven. Scrambling through the forest of feeling. Shadowheart! Head off, Flameheart, he's going in too deep. We already have someone coming our way. Moonheart drew his katana as Wind Whistler reared up and stretched out her wings. Shadowheart grinned wickedly as he lifted his own sword off the hooks on a strap on his back.
I'm afraid not, Moon. I have a different destination. The sacred redwood circle itself.
The sacred... Are you mad? We're here to make a home.
Forgive me. I lied.
Shadowheart wheeled Shady around and fled. For a few precious moments he couldn't afford to lose. Moonheart sat fretting over which of his companions to follow. He had just dismounted and was about to send Wind Whistler after Shadowheart when a brown lion with a crowned heart badge boldly walked up.
Stop there! Are you the Black?
Braveheart Lion questioned, pointing at Moonheart.
Black fur and a skull-shaped belly badge.
Moonheart rests his katana on his shoulder and adjusts his eye patch. I've been called a scourge, a plague, and I've been called the shadow of death, but my name is Moonheart.
Everyone's been saying how you want to destroy the force of feelings and mercilessly slay the Care Bears, but I'm not scared. Should I tackle him? I can't let him get too close to the village.
You'd be amazed at how often bravery and stupidity coincide.
True love cast out all fear. Oh, that sounds heroic.
Listen, you. I don't want to force you out of the way, but I have to move forwards.
It's another heroic-sounding phrase. Gulp. You shall not pass.
Moonheart sighed. Wind Whistler, could you chase after Shadowheart for me? I need to deal with this lion. Wind Whistler looked at her rider for a second.
Are you certain if it's a good idea for us to split up?
Shadowheart and Flameheart are already run off. I can't stop them both at the same time. Please, follow him. Wind Whistler sadly nodded and pranced off after Shadowheart. Moonheart then indifferently strode forwards, but Braveheart Lion jumped to tackle him. He sidestepped the attempt and kept walking. Braveheart came back and headbutted Moonheart from behind, and Moonheart spun around and bopped his foe on the head.
The lion got right up, but then Moonheart slashed at him with his katana.
Closer to home, Flameheart had gone unannounced so far. He dismounted Heartthrob and headed for a certain house once his companions were out of sight. His auburn fur wouldn't have been too unusual, but his claw-mark belly badge was very distinct, so he clasped his hands over it and hummed as he walked along. Then he spotted it, a humble cottage tucked away in the trees. Though he'd only lived there for a short while in his youth, Flameheart had never forgotten the place of his birth. Passing round a redwood, a tree with rich red bark, he came up to the door. He quickly scanned the area for anyone going by, but the forest of feeling had been strangely silent and no one appeared. He turned the door handle and crept inside. There was a portrait of a very familiar bear on the wall, though Flameheart didn't recognize them at first.
It's the fur. Yes, the fur must have changed colour. I wouldn't know that belly badge anyway.
Looking elsewhere, Flameheart saw the decor in the cottage was far plainer. No bright colours, simple rugs of a single hue. It was very reserved as far as bear stylings went. Flameheart sniffed. He could recall their childhood home in near perfect detail, every smell and squeaky door. This scent was also close to his heart, as it reminded him of another bear who'd lived with him. Then it hit him. This was the home of that bear, now grown. The sacred circle of redwoods. Shadowheart held his overly large sword aloft as he rode Shady towards the circle, screaming and laughing, occasionally at the same time. He alone of his companions had learned the key to the stair. He obsessed over it and explored its depths, and those secrets now glinted on the edge of his sword. Then he broke onto a clear path, and he could see the circle unobstructed, just as those who were in it could see him. Some rushed forwards to begin the stair, and the beams of benevolent energy bombarded Shadowheart, only to no avail. The energy of Shadowheart's own stair was in his blade, and it was that which he used to deflect the stares of the gathered bears. Funshine Bear took in the pale view of an almost sickly green bear with a jagged, broken-heart belly badge, the pink and yellowish pony they rode on, and their gigantic sword which turned aside their stares.
It's the wicked.
It's him. Funshine smiled, but not as Shadowheart's advance. No one had thought to stare at his pony. Funshine Bear did so, and the galloping horse began to slow.
Why are we running so fast at them, Shadow? Let's slow down and talk.
Shadowheart raged at his pony's change of heart.
You must not doubt yourself now. Keep going.
But Shady did not.
They look so friendly. I'm sure it wouldn't be so bad. Right?
Shady looked up and glanced at her rider. For some inexplicable reason, all of his had been gently erased, but Shadowheart didn't seem affected.
No, they have deceived you, Shady, you useless lump of flesh.
Shadowheart jumped off Shady and sliced at her neck with his enormous sword. A stream of ethereal rainbow liquid burst out, and she collapsed. Shadowheart advanced. He wasn't the most imposing physical specimen, like Moonheart was, with black fur and an eye patch, but the pale green energy that danced along his blade intensified, and a few globules of rainbow ichor dripped from it. Shadowheart began to jog, slowly picking up his pace until he was running full speed at the assembled bears. As he came to their group, Good Luck Bear and Share Bear closed their eyes, anticipating to be struck. But they were not. Shadowheart continued on until he reached the center of the sacred redwood circle. He raised his humongous sword high, the unreleased energy of his stare shining from it.
You have been blind to the true potential within yourselves. I will open your eyes, destroy the sacred and deify the profane. Behold, bears of the forest, witness the birth of your new god.
Shadowheart jumped and brought his titanic sword down and stabbed it into the ground. A ghostly green energy flared out in a shockwave, ruffling the fur of the bears and leaving a trace of an unfamiliar feeling on them. Primal fear. Fleeing from the ride of the wicked, Secret Bear, Champ Bear, and Friend Bear were racing from the scene. Champ Bear and Friend Bear had been quietly ordered to keep Secret away from the 3 prodigal sons, and after seeing that he was unaffected by the stares, such an order was quite easy to obey. Secret Bear in particular had been horrified. She had been whispering,
No, not like that.
to herself over and over.
Don't worry, Secret Bear. We're almost to your house,
said Friend Bear. Champ Bear added, We shall be there soon and be able to rest. Secret Bear nodded.
I'm still worried about where the Black and the Fierce have gone,
thought Secret Bear.
I knew he would have given in to evil, but it was still painful to have seen the look in his eyes. Oh.
They jogged on in silence for a couple of minutes. As they came within a stone's throw of her house, they stopped to catch their breath.
We'll be fine,
Friend Bear said.
Your house is in the middle of nowhere. I doubt the Fierce or the Black could find it.
She looked at Secret Bear.
And even if they are, we're still with you. Thank you,
Secret Bear breathed. Friend Bear took her paw, and the trio continued to Secret's house, with Champ Bear leading the way. The athletic Blue Bear had determination in his stride, and with confidence stepped up to the door of Secret Bear's house and opened it. What awaited them behind the door was the culmination of years of fear and longing. Flame hot. Who are you? Champ Bear asked, not recognizing Darwinfoot Bear, and bewildered by his claw-marked belly badge. Oi, I'm Flame Hot. Friend Bear experienced a sinking feeling in her gut.
You're the Fierce!
I'm fierce on many other things, Flameheart answered. I just so happened to come across this house in my search, and I've been reminiscing about my early years. Early years? Why don't you keep on searching? This house belongs to Secret Bear. Flameheart grabbed Champ Bear by the throat and slammed him against the door frame, smiling as he growled. I've already found it. You see, when I was just a young bear, I was left at the edge of the forest of feelings to die by the very people who raised me. So when I followed my companions here against my wishes, who should fall into my hands? I found the pot of gold at both ends of the rainbow. He slammed Champ against the door frame again, then threw him high into the air and far away into a pink tree. Friend Bear moved in front of Secret Bear and flung her arms out, but Flameheart knocked her aside with great power. He then stood face to face with the last of the 3. Secret Bear, you've changed. Unconsciously, Secret Bear moved forwards.
Flameheart! Why did you come here?
Flameheart moved closer and closer and rested his paws on Secret Bear's shoulders. My memories of this house and you were the only bright spots of my time here. I've never forgotten you. Secret Bear's heart pounded and her breath was shaky.
I didn't forget you either.
2, 3 heartbeats passed slowly before Secret Bear and Flameheart Bear wrapped their arms around each other in a tight hug, the belly badges meeting and sparking an intense heat. A surge of desire and passion pulsed from Secret Bear's belly badge, a raw heat feeling like nothing she'd ever felt before. Flameheart was also pleasantly surprised by the experience, an achingly sweet trust and openness tingling through him. He softly carried her down to the forest floor with him. Feeling her quivering breaths on his face, he let all his pent-up emotions go, flowing through his belly badge, and in return received an electric surge of longing rushing into his veins. They pulled back, slightly panting. A soothing and enticing coolness spattered from their belly badges, which were no longer in contact. They gazed into each other's eyes, deep mysteries and emotions on the tips of their tongues. Meanwhile, at the edges of disaster, Cheerbear and Tenderheart Bear hung back at the edge of the sacred redwood circle, watching the chaos unfold.
What a homecoming!
Cheerheart Bear shook her head.
At the crack of doom our children have returned. 'Tis a pity they chose what they'll never have.
Underneath they'll never know the truth.